Drop by drop, Carlos Alcaraz leads shift back to the most deft shot in tennis. Roger Federer saw it as a panic shot, but the drop shot is back in vogue thanks to a greater understanding of its effectiveness. A little more than 2 years ago, Daniil Medvedev was working his way through the early rounds of the Miami Open when he noticed a distinct shift in his opponent's tactics. A few days earlier, he had been convincingly beaten in the Indian Wells final by Carlos Alcaraz, who dismantled him with a relentless stream of drop shots. Suddenly, everyone was hitting drop shots against him. A lot of guys maybe saw the final, so they started to do only drop shots against me, says Medvedev, smiling widely. It's not the same. It's like, okay, continue doing it. I'm there. Against Alcaraz, I'm not there. Medvedev had the last laugh that week as he won the title in Miami, but his observations were reflective of a wider shift. Although the drop shot has long been a common tactic, it has received greater attention in recent years as many players have come to understand how effective it can be. There was a time when drop shots were largely considered the territory of craftier players, relied on by those whose weight of shot was insufficient. Despite the peerless variation in his game, even Roger Federer was skeptical of the drop shot early in his career, describing it as a panic shot. Nowadays, there is a clear consensus that the drop shot perfectly complements an increasingly powerful athletic sport. I've had so many players come to me saying, "I don't know what shot you're going to choose," says Ons Jabeur. That's the beauty of it. The emergence of Alcaraz has strengthened that view. Almost every conversation with top players on the subject ends with a reference to the Spaniard. Asked about how best to use the drop shot, Mira Andreeva, whose game is built around her intelligence and feel, simply shrugs. You watch Carlos Alcaraz play on TV, and you try to do the same. Although Alcaraz is one of the most destructive ball strikers around, he also possesses deft hands and feel. The moment his opponents step back to give themselves more time, he can exploit the space and their uncertainty with a drop shot. This is further accentuated by Alcaraz's mastery of the forehand drop shot, which pairs perfectly with his wicked topspin forehand. For Alcaraz, the key to an elite drop shot is the shot that precedes it. You have to hit the shot strong just to push him to take a few steps back, he says. And then just make it. I don't know how to explain it. It's just natural for me. Good technique. Although the low, skidding bounce of grass courts make the drop shot effective at Wimbledon, clay remains its traditional platform. The slippery nature of the surface makes a player's first step challenging when chasing down a drop shot. Players generally take a more defensive positioning behind the baseline on clay, a slower surface that requires patience to outmaneuver opponents. It's a lot harder to finish the points, so you have to find different ways, says Alex de Minaur. The athletic abilities of the top players have improved massively over the years. This means more of them can chase down good drop shots, and points descend into a frenzied cat-and-mouse chase that tests athleticism, hand skills, and instinctive decision-making to the limit. Under those circumstances, a specific type of drop shot has come into focus: the counter drop. Nobody has been as adept at countering a drop shot with another drop shot or a deft angle and finding their way out of these rallies than Novak Djokovic. That's a decision that is made in a split second, tens of a split of a second, he says. It's really almost with a peripheral vision of understanding where it is the position of your opponent. If you see him moving forward, then in the last second, instead of doing a counter drop shot, maybe you just try to push the ball deep and close the net. Tennis is a sport of really fine margins, and those split-second decisions are normal in a way for us, and our brain has to work really fast to be able to make these decisions. The quality of a drop shot rests on a variety of factors. Good disguise is essential, with players shaping up to hit a regular driven ground stroke before changing their grip and dropping the ball at the last moment so that they can brush down the side and generate the backspin required to arrest the ball's momentum once it bounces. Court positioning after the shot is also important, with players often choosing to follow the drop shot to the net to close down the angles. Alcaraz stresses the importance of timing. The most important thing is that you have to find the great moment to do it, he says. It's much better to do a not great drop shot in a great moment than a pretty good drop shot in not a good moment. You have to find the right balance.